tee this up, and I'll let you guys go. Amazing. We knew that they would get a deal done. 5 years, $265.5 million contract extension for Justin Herbert, making him the highest paid player in league history. So you knew that they would do this. Now, I love the fact that they did it before the first practice, before the start of training camp, get the questions out of the way, the significance of this contract, Fernando. How big was it to get this deal done before the beginning of camp?
I mean, you had to do this. I mean, and Herbert said it today. He's like, I didn't want to be this distraction. I didn't want to be the, oh, hey, when is he going to sign his contract? You knew the questions were going to happen every single time he hit the podium. And even when Brandon Staley hit the podium, the questions were going to be, but now it's out of the way. It's old news now. They're getting ready to go. It's so funny, though. Every time Justin Herbert would do something, fans would be yelling. I don't know if you guys saw, but I posted a video. Some kid asked Herbert, hey, can I have your cleat? And Justin goes, yeah, sure. And he takes it off and he gives him. Another kid's like, well, can I have the other one? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he gives him his cleats and he turns to me and he goes, I don't need them anyway. And so you just get a sense of it. The kid he just really everything that you want in a franchise quarterback. He's great with the fans. The players love him. And I wrote about this in the Sporting Tribune that he's their leader. He's their unquestioned leader. He's the guy that they're going to follow, and they believe in him. And the one thing that Herbert told us is, now I just get to go out there and play football. And that's all that he wants. He wanted the questions out of the way. He wants all that gone. Now he can just focus on playing football and obviously trying to do what Dan Fouts, Phillip Rivers, the guys before him couldn't, try and win this team their first Super Bowl ever, which, I mean, that would just put them in the upper echelon of because I mean the Chargers, I know they get a lot of knocks here and there, but one thing, they do know how to draft quarterbacks. They do know how to unravel quarterbacks. They did it with Breeze. They did it with Fouts, with Rivers. They've done it good. And now Herbert seems like he's the next in line, but they needed to get this done before training camp just to avoid distraction.
Well, since we are talking about this contract, because I do want to ask you about Kellen Moore. I think it's a fascinating move getting him to be the OC. But, you talk about Herbert saying, well, now I can finally play football. We can go back 2 years ago when the contract extension talks were happening. And they even asked the GM, Tom T, if like, hey, what's your philosophy? Because I think for a lot of fans, we need to take advantage of our quarterback being on that rookie contract. Tom T said that doesn't matter. He pointed at some of the years. Look at all these teams that are in the playoffs. These guys aren't the QBs of the teams that they were drafted on. So that doesn't necessarily that doesn't lock it in that you're going to be successful. You can be successful without it. So now he's going to face that because the contract extension is here, and now he has to put the team together with all that money. Although this year, I know the way the deal is structured, it's not going to affect these next 2 years. It's still going to be pretty good. But I guess long-winded, I apologize. My question is Tom T going to be here long enough to see this vision through with all the pressure on this year 3 for Staley?
I mean, there's a lot of pressure just because you've backtracked Keenan, Mike, Joey, Khalil. There's a lot of money in these players next. Like all 4 of those players next year are going to cost a combined, I think it was $120 million. Wow. I just don't. I think 2 of those guys will be here. I don't think all 4 are here. So it's going to be interesting to see who's here. But I don't know. I mean, especially with the debacle with Jacksonville and everything that's kind of happened, it's kind of hard to sense if Tom Telesco will be here. But I mean, he survived Anthony Lynn. He survived a lot of other stuff, and he's still here. So, and I think the Chargers have done a good job drafting ever since Brandon came in. I think his coaching staff has done a good job of recognizing talent and getting these guys ready. That I'm not too sure of. It's going to be interesting to see what direction they go. But to go back to what you were saying, I mean, yeah, Justin is the guy for them. I know a lot of fans. I mean, I remember, and I have receipts. A lot of fans were angry in 2020. I remember when I tweeted out Chargers are drafting Justin Herbert. And all these fans are like, no, Isaiah Simmons. Why didn't we go get Tua? What's going on? And now everybody's like, oh, yeah, we love Justin Herbert. I'm like, I have receipts on some of you folks. But really, they love Justin. The franchise loves them. And Tom Telesco did the smart move. And that's another point that you brought up. Tom was there with the Colts in 2014 4 or 5 when they gave Peyton Manning his contract extension. 2 years later, they win the Super Bowl. So he's seen it happen before. That's why he said, I have a blue notebook with a blue binder with how we did it with Peyton, what we did. And the Chargers, in a sense, I'm not saying they resemble that team from 2006 of the Colts, but they're pretty similar. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. They have some good pieces there, but now it's, can you overcome the stacked the AFC is ridiculous. And can you overcome all the different teams? And can you, like, every team has weaknesses. Like the Chiefs had weaknesses last year, but can you avoid the weaknesses and can you mask them enough to win a Super Bowl? That's going to be the huge question on the Chargers